follow on me. We're marching out into the night. Follow on me. We're standing up against a giant. Follow on me. We might be walking in the fire, but if it's where we're meant to be, then on me.
Well, we're excited to have you here. This is our On Me 20 podcast number 13. And we started at 15:13 because of John 15:13, which says, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down their life for their friends. And that's what Mark did. And so many others did as well. So there's a significance in the time there. Obviously, on me, we think, as I've talked to his teammates, could have been his final words to his teammates as they cleared several houses and went in the last house Mark would be in, cleared the bottom of the house, started up those stairs, and he yelled, on me. And, you know, he was saying, I got the lead on this. You guys follow me. And as they went up those steps, he drew fire through a window and for the last and final time, you know, stood up in that line of fire, willingly gave his life to save his teammates and for the freedoms we enjoy every day. And I tell people all the time, I didn't have any choice the news that was given to me on August 2nd, but I did have a choice how I responded. And that choice was to put on his boots, pick up his weapon, and stay in the fight for you, for every other man or woman that served, for every other family who's lost a loved one. So it's my honor to be here today and have you on with us. We've known each other for quite a while, Travis. I don't even know how many years it's been, but so it is our honor to have us on here today. I'd like to start by just reading your bio so everybody else can get to know you like I do. Retired United States Army Staff Sergeant Travis Mills of the 82nd Airborne is a recalibrated warrior, a motivational speaker, an actor, an author, and an advocate for veterans and amputees. Travis's New York Times best-selling memoir, Tough as They Come, is currently available on sale in bookstores everywhere. Despite losing portions of both arms and legs from an IED while on active duty in Afghanistan, Travis continues to overcome life's challenges, breaking physical barriers and defying odds. Travis lives by his motto, never give up, never quit. On April 10, 2012, United States Army Staff Sergeant Travis Mills of the 82nd Airborne was critically injured on his third tour of duty in Afghanistan by an IED while on patrol. He is only one of 5 quadruple amputees from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan to survive his injuries. Thanks to his amazing strength, courage, and incredible will to live, the heroic actions of the men in his unit, the prayers of thousands, and all the healthcare providers at Walter Reed Army Medical Center near Washington, D.C., Travis remains on the road to recovery. Every day is a battle, but Travis continues to astound friends and family alike with his progress and with his amazing spirit. Travis, we're so excited to have you on the show today, on the podcast, on the show. It's not a show.
Yeah, but, it is.
Well, we're excited to have you here. And, you know, I have watched you through the years, and that is not even, the words don't express your fortitude, what you continue to do and what you persevere through. And, you know, for all of us, we think we're having a bad day. Yeah, I don't think so. You know, that what you've been through. So thank you so much for being here.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I had someone wrote that up. I'm not even sure if most of it's true. It just sounded good, but no, I'm you know, I'm thankful to still be around. Lucky to have the opportunity to still be around. And I tell people there's so many guys out there, you know, obviously that didn't make it back home. That gives me the opportunity to still live a positive life and know that I was left on this earth to keep pushing forward and doing good things. So that's why. You know, that's why I do the things I do, and I'm able to find joy in life, and I don't pity what happened to me. I mean, it's just kind of another day, and that's what happened.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about growing up. Where did you grow up? About your family now?
Yeah. So my parents, both from Michigan, and then they fell in love, and they had their first kid, and they thought, well, we can do better, and then they had me, you know, and then they thought they could duplicate me, and they couldn't. So they had 3 kids and decided the middle one's their favorite. But I'm from Michigan, and you know, I grew up pretty typical childhood, just playing sports, having fun. Played me some college football at a small community college, and then I realized that I was only at college for sports, and my grades were suffering. And I thought, this is a waste of really the professor's times and my money. So I joined the military and loved it. I loved every minute of it. I did 3 deployments with the 82nd Airborne Division. And my 3rd deployment, I didn't have to go. I had orders taking me somewhere else, and I canceled those because my wife and I just had a baby. Well, she had the baby. I was there, but she, had the baby. And she understood the calling and the brotherhood. And I said, there's no way I cannot go on this deployment. And I went on this deployment, and a month and a half in, we got a phone call from the village elder, went on patrol like normal. And I just happened to set my backpack on the ground because I had to link the ammo for the 240 Bravo heavy machine gun that I had in my backpack with the other 4 backpacks full of ammo. And I set my bag on the ground. Unfortunately, bomb went off and had a bad day at work. I really jumped ahead from where I was started. You're supposed to lead me here. I apologize. So
that's okay. No worries, Travis. If you want to keep going with the story where you're at right now,
I don't want to,
be the next question. So no. Go ahead.
So set my backpack down, right? Lost my right arm, right leg automatically. Eventually my left leg and left arm came off. But they got me on a helicopter. They got me to the hospital. 9 doctors and 7 nurses worked on me around the clock for 14 hours. I was given over 400 units of blood, which is the most ever given in Kandahar at that time, which is pretty incredible. And, I came out of it. I came out of surgery after 14 hours and I still had my left arm. But when they went ahead and took me for a clean out in Bagram, on April 12th, my left hand had necrotized. So I had to cut it off. And then 2 days after that, on April 14th, which happens to be my birthday, they woke me up for the very first time and I found out what had happened. And I was a quadruple amputee. And a lot of questions, right? Am I a bad person? Does God hate me? What did I do wrong in life? And how can I, be a husband and a father? And the biggest thing was, why didn't I just die? And there's no real answer for that. But on April 17th, I got to Walter Reed. I saw my wife for the very first time. They had to take me in emergency surgery. And then I saw her again the next day. And I told her she should take what we have and go. The house, the cars, money saved up. It's all yours. We had a little 6-month-old. And I thought, you might as well just take it and go. And it's no problem. And she was like, that's not how this works. I really want handicap parking. And that front row means a lot to me. So she stayed, obviously. But really, she's like, we'll get through this together. That's not how this works. And at Walter Reed in Bethesda, Maryland, there, I had the absolute best care, doctors, nurses, medical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, as well as my super duper wonderful driver rehab specialist. And just so many amazing people. And let me tell you something. The prosthetists at Walter Reed, the guys that make my arms and legs, they are phenomenal people. And I never ever take for granted the mathematics that go into the ability to have me, a guy with no arms and legs, get up and walk across the room, right? Pick up a sandwich and eat it by myself and do all the other things I can do. And it took me a little while, but boy, am I so lucky to have the opportunity to do all that stuff. I got my hook on today. It's going to look weird, but I got to itch my nose. That's what I wear at home.
Where's your mask? Wait, you're at home. You're
so
okay.
Actually,
you take it off.
So Jocko's
Origins
there, Origin, Pete, he made me a mask. Oh, I ordered it actually. I bought it from him. I haven't worn it, but I do have it. And then I saw Pete today. Actually, he took a bike ride from Farmington and on his motorcycle and came and hung out with me.
Yeah, I've got one of the Rosie Riveter ones that they did. That's the red. Yeah. So yeah, those are awesome. And what a perfect example, of what they're doing for America through that company up there. And we love Origins and who they are, and Jocko, those are my family. But so when you were going through, there obviously had to be different stages that you went through of, accepting it and then going back again and then accepting it. When would you say was the toughest point that you were at?
Well, yeah, so it's all mental. The worst part for me was mentally. Like physically, I can do anything I put my mind to. I've always worked out. I've always been a very big physical specimen. I'm not like, oh, I'm such a great guy. Like I never had a 6-pack, but I was a very big, tough, lift weights, burly guy. And mentally was the absolute worst part. When I had to sit there in the hospital bed and I was so weak at one point, I couldn't roll right, I couldn't roll left, I couldn't sit up by myself because I had lost all my muscle mass, 110 pounds. I had to have someone feed me and help me, use the restroom and dress me. And that's the worst part. And then it got to, I got an arm in 5 weeks, and I was able to feed myself again and do everything by myself again, for the most part. Then I got to 7 weeks and 4 days, just shy of 2 months, I started walking again. But I tell people it was over quick, the poor me, pity me thing. And it was, for the most part, but there were days where it was like, why'd this have to be me? And there's still every now and then, when it's dark at night and I'm sitting there in bed and I'm not tired, it's like, I can't believe this is literally the rest of my life that I have no arms, no legs. But on the flip side, I have my wonderful family. I'm still here doing things. I have the ability to have my nonprofit and really four other for-profit businesses that I'm a part of or I own outright. And I was given the chance to still be here. So I think it'd be a selfish slap in the face to your family's sacrifice if I was just like, well, this isn't really worth it. Like, this is awful. And I was miserable because you know what? I did get the opportunity, and I don't know why I did, but to make it home that day. And for 6 months, I really couldn't look at myself in the mirror, like, because I have this little arm over here, and this one's cut off at my mid forearm. I don't have a knee anymore, so like, it was hard to see myself and say, well, it's okay. Like, this is going to be all right. But over time, eventually, it just was like, this is me. My daughter never treats me any different. She's 8 years old. She's wild and crazy and a lot of fun. And then I'm actually a little sweaty. I was on the trampoline with her. She begged me to get on the trampoline with her. And I was like, I got to do something very important. She's like, oh, Dad, come on. And then she choked me. I don't want to talk about it. But and then, my son, he's 2.5 years old now. He's a wild man. And he's never known. Yeah. He's named after the medics, Daniel and Alexander, that saved my life. And he's never known me without, with arms and legs. And we get along just fine. We wrestle, we play, we read books. It's funny. He reads to me now. No, I'm just kidding. But make the best of it. Make the best of everything. And don't take any day for granted, because the day I got blown up was just a normal day. Nothing different about it. There's no different feeling in the air. You couldn't sense it was coming. Man, I just set my backpack down on a spot that was marked clear, like an area that was where the minesweeper swept not once but twice back and forth. And just unfortunate things happen. It just shows you how you might as well make the most of every day and make the most of every situation, which I do believe you have done for making the most of a situation for the good, and turn this tragedy into something as a positive light forward. And I can't thank you enough. And everybody calls you Mama Lee, and that's because you just take everybody under your wing and say, hey, look, whatever you're going through, I've been through something just as tragic and just as awful, and I found a way to cope. And I'm sure there's never a day that goes by that you don't wish the outcome was different. There's not a day that goes by I don't wish the outcome was different. But you're not going to change it. So you got to adapt and overcome. And that's what you've done. And you've helped strengthen, my wife and I and the family when we get to meet you and talk to you about your story, because hey, people are going through things, and there's ways to get, not over it, but get through it in a positive manner, even though it's still heartbreaking and sad. And it's, you know what I'm saying? Am I saying something wrong? I don't want to be offensive.
No, you're not at all. And you're spot on. You learn ways to cope. You learn ways to manage. You're right. I will never get over that. I carried Mark in my womb. I nursed him at my breast. I mean, he was a part of me. But, and you've got a glimpse into the lives that are being changed because of your tragedy and because what you're doing. I've also been blessed, and not that everybody always gets to see that when there's tragedy that happens or loss, but I've been blessed to see, it'll be 14 years in August, the lives that Mark is still changing in such a crazy way around the world. We've had people from other countries almost every single day on the podcast: Australia, Poland, South Korea, Canada, UK. I don't even remember who all the other ones are. But that would not have happened if Mark was still alive today. Would I selfishly? Yes, I would rather have him in a heartbeat. Oh, yeah. But to see the lives that continue to be changed because of Mark, and you do, as you said, you're so spot on with it's the mental fortitude. I've never, I've had physical injuries, but nothing, compared to what you've gone through. And to hear you say, after losing, 4 the major parts of your body, that wasn't the issue. It was the mental. And I think everything that we go through, that's what it is. And it's those choices we make. Where do you feel like that fortitude, that mental fortitude came for you to be able to say, okay, this is the deal I was handed. Here's how I'm going to adapt and overcome.
I'm not so sure I would be the same person without my daughter. You know, I obviously have a very strong family. We're very well connected. My mom and dad literally like moved to Maine to help me run a business I bought on a whim with a buddy of mine. And, you know, and my sister and my brother and everything like that, and my wonderful wife. But my daughter, I mean, I remember, and I'm not embarrassed about it, but I never talked sternly to my mom. I never swore at my mom. You don't do that. You don't raise your voice to your mom, at least not in my household. Unless, I mean, I never seen anybody do it because my dad would have you. But at the same time, you just don't do it.
Yes.
And one day in the hospital, I woke up from sleeping and I said, "Hey, Mom, where's Chloe and Dax?" And, or not Dax, sorry. "Where's Kelsey and Chloe?" And she said, "Well, they came by, but you were sleeping, so I let you sleep." And I said, "Don't," and I looked at her and I said, "Don't ever do that again. This is the only reason it's worth getting better." And I would just have Chloe roll a red ball from the end of my bed to me and roll it back. And that's all we did. But that was like the highlight of my day. And, like, I know it doesn't sound very stern, but like, that's as stern as I got with my mom ever. And she's not like a big, scary lady. She's like
Right.
5'2", you know, like 130 pounds or something. But I was like, don't ever let that happen again. And she tells people, my daughter will tell people she helped me learn how to walk, because I have video of her learning how to walk, holding my hand as I'm learning how to walk on some short legs. And, you know, I guess at the end of the day, though, you realize you're not going to change it. No matter how many times I would sit there and say, how do I go back in time? And I'm sure you've had these same conversations with yourself and maybe other people. How do I make this not be my reality? Well, guess what? It is. And instead of me dwelling on the past, I just reminisce. I had 25 amazing years with arms and legs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I have had 8 pretty incredible years without. And that's just the way I had to go about it. Was, it's done. It's over. Let's move on and learn from it. And let's be a better person. Let's not let this consume me. Let's not let this take my life over. And I have a lot of life to live. So let's get after it and do the best we can. And that's, you know, that's why I kind of do the things I do. I want to be a positive role model for my children and my wife. Stay by my side. So I'll do my best there, and got nothing else going on, you know? Yeah. So let's just keep pressing forward.
You know, and when we were notified, you know, of Mark being killed, the deepest pain I've ever known in my life. I've gone through a lot of tragedies and trials in my life, but by far losing Mark's the toughest thing I've ever been through. And for me to curl up in a ball and feel sorry for myself, I get it, because it is the toughest pain. I get why people turn to drugs or alcohol or sex or whatever temporarily takes the pain away. But that would not have changed the fact that Mark was gone. As you said, this was your new life that had been dealt to you. And to feel sorry for myself, it would physically make me sick. Same thing for you. Stress depletes so much from your body and just physically will attack your body. You know, nobody's thinking want to be around me. I'm a people person. I need people around me. So if that's an option, I'm going to push people away. No, thank you. And that's not how God wired me. So if I can be out there supporting, you know, those who would willingly give their life, those who gave their body parts and left body parts behind, as you did in the combat zone, man, that's a great day. And as we go through, it seems like one of the themes that we have had from each one of our speakers is in the midst of adversity to serve. And that's one thing I love about you, Travis, because you've been out there serving, you've been out there helping other amputees and other veterans. And I think that's so important. When it's easy to have that pity party and dwell on the pain that you're in, but when you choose to look outward and do something for somebody else, man, that is such a good feeling. It makes you feel so much better when you're doing that. So we've encouraged all of those that have been listening on this to make sure that they're serving. What are some other things? You know, COVID has impacted people in such a different way. You know, some people have lost their jobs. Some people don't know how they're going to feed their families. Some have lost family members, you know, to this terrible disease. What things would you encourage these people to be able to adapt and overcome? What are some other things that they can be doing in the midst of this? Whether they're, you know, it's a transition, whether they're transitioning out of the military or they've already done that. whether they're a family member or just one of our supporters or friends that have joined us? What would be some other things that you would encourage them to do?
Well, I mean, I think when you're going through a rough time, I didn't have, they offered it, mental health. I didn't take it. And the lady came in my room and I was sleeping the first time. And my wife told me they came by. I said, call them back, tell them not to come. I ain't talking to nobody. Then they came back again and I saw her and I pretended like I was sleeping. And she left. And she came back a third time and I was eating a bowl of cereal. And I was sitting up with a makeshift arm, not like this, but like split material and duct tape and whatnot. And I was eating cereal and I looked over and I saw her and I might have said a bad word. And I threw myself back into my bed and I started to snort loudly as fake as I could. And she was like, what are you doing? And I gave her my name, rank, and my social. And she's like, what? I don't understand. I gave it to her again. And she said, I really don't, what are you doing? And I said, that's what you tell the enemy, so you can take it and leave, or you can get out. I don't care. And my wife's like, you can't say that. You're gonna make her upset. I said, I told you to tell him not to come back. I ain't talking to nobody. Now that's how I dealt with it as big, tough army man, because, you know, that's unspoken. You don't talk to anybody. But what I would encourage now, and that's what my motivational speaking has done for me and the counseling I've done with other people, don't be too prideful. If you're going through something, you know, reach out and talk to somebody, ask for help. If you're transitioning from the military, there are so many programs out there. If you're having a rough time with this COVID-19 stuff going on, tune into podcasts just like yours. Go out there and do something to better yourself every day. And you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, it's up to you to motivate yourself and get yourself out of bed and do things. But you can ask, you know, people, and you can lean on people. And I was never the guy that probably asked for help. I can remember like bear hugging a washer in a dryer, you know, one at a time, but carrying them up 3 flights of stairs in my first apartment with Kelsey. And it's not like my buddies would come help me, but I was like, no, I got this. And then I had to go from that guy to asking people to help me dress and feed. And it was the most humbling experience. But at the same time, they were there for me and they helped me get through it. And my wife had never seen me actually cry. When my daughter was born, I made some weird noises. Like my daughter Chloe's born, like, it's a girl. And I'm like, and the nurse was like, you can cry. And I'm like, I don't know how to cry. Woo! I was like, that was weird. And this lady looked at me like, this guy's going to take home that baby. And then because of the concussion or whatever I got from the IED for the first 3 months, like your emotions are completely off. So my wife had, like, I was like crying, like, oh my God, did you see that? Like, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm crying right now. But no, I mean, I would encourage anybody out there, if you're looking for help, go get it. If you need it, even if you don't think you need it, but someone tells me, or not tells me, but tells you, you know, maybe you should talk to somebody, try it out, because keeping it pent up doesn't help. My best friends are my kids, to be honest with you. And we have such a great time. And my wife, right? I should say that. I don't want to get in trouble because we are really great together. But my daughter and my son, you know, they tell me everything. We do everything together. You know, and I'm just so lucky to still be, you know, able to have that life that I thought I was going to lose, if you will. I thought when I was injured, like, my wife's leaving me, no issue stays with me. No one of my kids will ever respect me or love me. And how can I be a husband and a father? And it turns out all my worrying that kept me up at night wasn't for nothing. Just like sometimes I'm like, when I'm 60 years old and 70, am I going to be able to use a prosthetic arm? What am I going to do? And I'm like, why am I worried about that?
Technology will be by then.
Exactly. And I'm like, why am I worried about that right now?
Yeah.
I live in the moment. I plan for the future, and I don't dwell on the things behind me. You just got to keep pressing forward.
And the other thing is, you know, don't waste your time on those things that you can't control. You know, take your useful brain power that you got and focus it on something that you do have control of, something that you can change, something that you can make a difference in. You know.
Yeah, I got yelled at today for that. My dad, my aunt, I guess she's my great aunt, but my great aunt put something on Facebook and I didn't like it. And I put a witty comment back, and my dad said, you think you're going to change her opinion? She's in her 80s. You're going to change it? Is that why you did that? And I'm like, fine, I'll delete it. I'm sorry. So I focused on the wrong thing, you know, having my morning coffee today when I was sitting there watching TV. So you're right. Don't focus on the things you can't change. But I'm sorry, I cut you off. I just remember I got scolded by my dad today, and I had to not apologize, but delete a post from my 80-year-old great aunt.
Right. So see, as parents, we still do have influence on our adult children sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that people continue to eat healthy, stay away from the junk food. I know that's so tempting. I am a comfort eater, when I'm bored, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, that's just how we grew up. You went and celebrated by eating food. And so I've had to, really learn to not do that, or I'd be on that 600-pound, weight loss show thing. And that's it, not just because these are the foods we like. These are the things that are better for you nutritionally to help you cope in the midst of things. You talked about your emotions in that frontal lobe, after the TBI that you had, and that's such a common experience. That's part of why we have our Helping Heroes Heal program. We're paying for the hyperbaric oxygen therapy, the hormone vitamin therapy, those things that are actually healing the brain. So many of our veterans are going to the VA, and they're getting pumped with, we just had one of our guys had 43 prescriptions all at the same time. How the heck can that be good for? It's obviously not good for your kidneys and everything else, but one, helps you to wake up in the morning because the sleeping pills that you took the night before caused you to crash down and you can't function, and this is for that, and it's like, it's absurd. So if we can do those things that are naturally healing your body and getting those emotions back in balance, so you don't cry at anything or everything, or you don't have the road rage, and so please, folks, if you're listening and you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out to us so that we can help you as well. But I know that one of the things we'd like to do, thank you for your time. I know you get paid to speak, and you have donated. All of our speakers have been generous and donated their time to come on here to be able to encourage those that we reach out to. So thank you so much, Travis. But we want to support you for your time as well. What things can we be doing to support you? Tell us about the book, where you can get your book. Other things that we can be doing, your foundation, the Travis Mills Foundation that you've got.
Yeah, so I appreciate the platform. I would never ask for money for this. I thought we were just going to have a conversation. I
know you didn't ask.
I mean,
but
never would I ever. But you're lovely. So I started the Travis Mills Foundation. We help what I call recalibrated warriors. It's nothing against any other nonprofits, but I hate the term wounded. I truly think that it has negative connotations. Just like when people say, they like, oh, you're one of the wounded warriors. I'm like, actually, I got scars. So I used to be injured. Now I'm not. I was wounded. I'm okay now. And it takes the negative stigma, I think, away from it. But we bring up combat injured veterans or service-connected injured veterans that have been through physical injuries, and we show them how to do things adaptively with their families. My biggest thing by getting better was my wife and my daughter. And when I went on all these trips, learn how to downhill mountain bike or go mono skiing or snowboarding, and believe it or not, with no arms and legs in the predicament that I was in, I can snowboard down the mountain independently in some parts, but tumbly in the other parts. But
it's fun to watch.
yeah. And I was so excited about the opportunities that I had. And I realized that the people that went on these trips were always a service member and sometimes a non-medical assistant. And that's okay. I get that. That's what the funding's for. But I brought the families out. So we have a state-of-the-art, fully functioning retreat where we bring out 8 families per week at no cost to them. And we really had a wonderful time trying this as a concept for the first 2 years that we bought a facility. We did $2.5 million of renovations, and we opened in 2017. And we had 89 families come in 2017. We had 131 families come in 2018, and over 200 families came last year. And this year we were on pace. We were going to be somewhere around 250 to 300 families, but
good old COVID.
Yeah, with everything going on, it might be a little bit smaller number, but we're so grateful. All the funds that we raise for the Travis Mills Foundation go towards the programs and all the foundation. I don't take a dime. I don't need to get paid from it. I have other means of revenue, which I'm very thankful for. I was going to say I have a documentary out called Travis Soldier Story. You get on like Fox Nation and stuff like that. And then I have a book called Tough as I Come. Thanks for reminding me of that. But it's, it's done well and I'm proud of it. But, but really I'm excited to just have the platform to be out there telling people, hey, look, if you're going through some horribly, awful time, or you just need a little bit of pick me up, check out my Facebook page. Check out, it's SSG Travis Mills on Instagram and Facebook. I do fun videos with my family. I did a video called Quarantine Blues and, Corona Time. Yeah. Corona Time Blues. And it's got quite a few video hits on it or whatever. And, keep plugging away. And I hope everybody stays safe. I'm grateful for your time. And, the 2 life lessons that I talk about every time I do my presentation is the first one I've already mentioned. Don't dwell on the past, just reminisce it, keep pushing forward. And the next one, you can't always control your situation, but you can always control your attitude. And, I say that even though we've already brought that up with how you control your attitude and your situation that you had to go through, but you made the best of it by using, yourself and your attitude to keep pushing forward. I use that every day. When I wake up in the morning, my arm's on a charger. I have no arms and legs on. I'm in my bed. I jump in my wheelchair. I throw my arm on. I go have my coffee. And then eventually my daughter, my son, and my wife will come down and we'll go about our day, and it's just about how you take on the day and how your attitude is. And it's up to you how you want to live life, no matter what your situation is.
So good. So good. Thank you so much, Travis. I love you. And you guys got a glimpse into his sense of humor, but he has an amazing sense of humor as well. Was what you just shared the challenge that you were going to throw out to people? Or did you have a different challenge?
Well, yeah, no, I feel like the challenge to everybody is, really just, that's the situation you find yourself in, whether you hate COVID-19, you're sitting at home and you're super bored, you want to go out. I mean, just, hey, it's all attitude. Just like we talked about earlier, I was going to start on Monday, but you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I'll start my dieting tomorrow. I mean, I had Pete Roberts. I got a whole case of Mulk, all the Greek fire. I'm going to get after it. I want to be pretty. I want to be pretty.
You
Sunday,
are pretty.
As soon as I get to my barber again, or my hairstylist.
You actually don't. It doesn't look bad. You don't look bad at all, Travis.
It's just extra sweat and pushed over. So.
Yeah. You can't see on the camera. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. But we would love for you. Do you have time to stick around and do a few Q&A? I know several people in the chat room. We've got Ryan ready to read some of those questions because if I focus on the chat room, there would not be a conversation going on between you and I. So I just don't look over there. I know.
What's up, Travis?
Hey, how we doing?
Shoot, man, you are a perfect fit for this webinar series. It's not Fox and formal. It is Debbie and Ryan kicking it in a hat backwards and a shirt just like yours, brother. So I'm stoked you came cash. And I have to admit, I've been having troubles taking notes today because I'm rolling. Your sense of humor has got me going. And I just want to thank you for that. Thank you for your service too, brother.
Hey, absolutely.
To have that sort of character with what you've been through, man, it's inspirational. And even the folks in here today watching, having a hard time asking questions because they're really entrenched in your story. So just wanted to thank you that. So let's get to some questions, brother. Last thing real quick, love the fact that you're sharing on getting help too. Debbie, we talk about this. I don't think there's anything better than peer-to-peer. And like you said, a nurse can tell you need help, a doctor can tell you need help, a parent can tell you need help, but a peer telling you need help and you should go see somebody and you're not alone is such a difference maker, bro. And that's what we're doing in this community. And that's what's so special about the last, what are we, Debbie, 13 now? Number 13
today, yes.
That's what's so special about this place, Travis, is we've created an environment, just God's work, man, of just letting everybody that's on board, watching this know that you're not alone. And that's so critical in transition, in struggle, and just, times where you feel like you're in darkness and you're isolated. So thank you, brother, for that lift. I know you picked some people up today. I'm watching in the chat room, and hats off. Let me get to my duties here. Q&A. Having gone through the immense battles you have been faced with, are you willing to share your key coping mechanisms which help you get through the dark times?
Yeah, so the first thing, I didn't like people staring at me when I was injured. Ooh. So I always said I would get anxiety and real anxious. So I was like, my blood sugar's low. So I carry around little miniature Snickers. And like I had to eat a candy bar to make me feel better. Kind of dumb how fat I got. But that's like legit. I had like a backpack that was like, my blood sugar's getting low because people were staring at me. But as far as my coping mechanisms, I kind of just one day, and it was fairly early on, I was just like, people are going to stare. I mean, how could you not stare? And you might as well make the best of it. So I just said, whatever they do, they stare and they look, just have a conversation. Hey, how's it going? And when kids say something in the grocery store, people are like, oh, no, don't. I'm like, no, let's have a conversation. I'd rather have them know than to wonder and be scared of the guy that, came and looked like a robot. So it started early on where I was just like, people are going to look. I mean, how could they not? And just realizing this is me, hey, let's have a conversation. And now I tell kids I work with Iron Man, but the Big Hero 6 version, because I'm a little bit plumper, and they love it. They follow me around now. The parents are like, no, leave him alone. He doesn't want to go fly his legs around with you. But yeah, so it's, I don't know. I think just understanding that people were going to look at me and treat me different and wonder about what happened and why I look the way I look and just saying, hey, that's okay. It's human nature. Instead of like, I mean, my dad one time just got right in one guy's face, like, what are you staring at? And I'm like, obviously me, Dad. Come on. But I appreciated it. I appreciated his support. But, you know, the guy was walking to a pole, like did a whole turnaround, like with a real dumb look on his look. You know that dumb look. If you want to look, that's fine. But you like open mouth about drooling because you're like so entranced in how crazy I look.
Right.
My dad got right in his face. I'm like, Dad, obviously he's looking at me. Like, how could you not? I'm so good looking. Look at these pearly
Those
whites.
blue eyes. Look at those blue eyes.
It's that extra sweat comb over day, man. You talked about it earlier, right?
Well,
Hey,
extra
by the
grease,
way,
you know what I'm
too,
saying?
you keep dogging and saying you're soft right now. I've heard you've been beast mode, dude. So for all those out there, there's rumor of a future guest that knows what this guy can do in the gym.
Yes.
So don't let him fool you. I know you're playing soft right now. Maybe you got a little cushy. I've gotten there before. It just takes a little tightening up, man. You got it in you. I know you do.
Yeah.
So Travis, we've got David Vobora coming on.
Yeah, no, I figured that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep it a secret. You just let it out, so it's all good.
Call him Thorges. Be like, today we have Thorges. He hates it. He hates it.
That's so good.
Okay, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Awesome. That's awesome. So somebody asked about singing the 82nd Airborne song. I'm not military, so asked if you would do that. I don't know if that's.
I tell you what, if you got to go on Audible and get the book, and then I sing every time we got in a firefight in Afghanistan, and we come back to the gate, I'd run to the front, and we used to have to run up and down Ardennes in the 82nd in Fort Bragg, and they play all the like old running cadences, like in the 82nd song, like "Activated Long Ago," in the days of World War I, and then they'd sing that, and people didn't like it, right? Okay. Well, we get in a firefight. I was the highest ranking guy out there besides my platoon sergeant and my first sergeant. So I'd run to the front and I'd sing, and no one could tell me to be quiet because if they did, I'd wreck them. I'd literally wreck them. So like they started to sing along with me. So every day we got in a firefight, I'd run to the front. And then one day, my lieutenant, who I'm good friends with, Zach Lewis, we had the brigade commander and division, like the brigade commander and squadron commander and all these high ups with us. And we were going back. My platoon leader looked at me and goes, "You gonna run up there and sing, Sergeant Mills?" I'm like, "Oh, you are." He goes, "Nah, no way." And I was like, I took off and started running. High five the sergeant major and the brigade commander and everybody. Like, and you saw it. My CO was like, all scared. The major that was in charge of squadrons like, "No." And then the brigade commander, the lieutenant colonel, was like, "Yeah." And then right when he starts going, "Yeah," back down the line, the major's like, "All right." And my CO was like, "Okay, yeah, awesome. I love it." Just a bunch of, kiss ups, if you will. But yeah,
awesome.
So that's
That's super cool. And I have to give Carrie a shout out because she was really pushing me to ask you that. Carrie also today has felt called and on her heart to match the first $500 today, donated to both America's Mighty Warriors and to TMF. So I appreciate that. I want to give everybody a shout out, and especially Carrie. It was on her heart today. She sent that out early and said On Me 20 has been making a difference in her life. And I know you have today, especially with that little play on the 82nd, man, because she was asking about that. So super, super awesome. Let's see. Funniest story about Mike Rowe?
Oh, so Mike Rowe likes to be the funniest guy in the room. And when he's with me, he's not. So he's just, I feel bad because he's such an upbeat, really super nice guy. But he literally just, he's usually defeated by my wit and my humor. And he doesn't like to do that. But I pick him up with a joke afterwards after he tries to out-joke me.
Yeah.
But either way.
That's nice.
Yeah. But Mike Rowe's a great guy. Did wonderful things for the foundation. I've got to meet him a few times. He wants to make a TV show with me. So
nice.
If you're on Facebook, type in "We Bought a Lodge" after this and see what you come up with.
So that was one of the questions too. I guess you kind of alluded a little bit to your retreats and what you're doing for families. Somebody asked what inspired you to start that out? Like what was kind of the motivation behind the healing and the mission?
Yeah, well, I got to go on a lot of trips with my wife because she got to be a non-medical assistant, but a lot of guys aren't injured in the same capacity. And they didn't get to take a loved one or a non-medical assistant with them to enjoy the experiences. And I thought, well, this is all about getting better and doing things adaptively with your families. Mm-hmm. And then I just thought, let's bring some families in, It's everybody going through it. It's not just me. It's not just my wife. It's not it's the kids, it's everybody. So what started off as just a simple idea turned into, something pretty magnificent, and I'm very proud of and very thankful for the support that people do.
Yeah, Debbie and I have talked about that here recently, and we really think that is a big deal. And you mentioned family. The family goes through it as well. So spot on, brother. Good works.
And it is a beautiful facility up there in Maine. It is just absolutely phenomenal. So job well done, Travis.
I picked a horrible spot to sit with the sunlight. It keeps coming through the window. I mean, I love a bright, shiny day. I thought natural light would be my thing, but it's right in the eyes. So
you're glowing. You're glowing.
I was wondering if that was the sweat you were talking about, because when the sun hits my face like that, I'm just burning up. So
I don't sweat. I glow.
See, that's what I said.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Let's see. I was just curious. This is just my personal question, but do you have a heart for other amputees and connect in a community like that? Is that something that you serve
like civilian ones?
Yeah, civilian or even other military? Is there a community? I'm just.
We have like the TMF alumni page that all the people do. Okay. In truth, I just saw Kari's comment. She said, give a plug to Gary Sneeze. So Gary Sneeze Foundation built my house. They do wonderful things, and he was building houses, and I thought, well, now people are at their houses, what can we do to bring them all together again after being at the hospital? Okay. And Gary's a phenomenal guy, friend of mine, and can't say enough things about him. Just a genuine person trying to do the right thing, and I'm thankful for his friendship, and I'm an ambassador for his foundation. But as far as like the community, we have a TMF alumni page people will go to if they've been to the retreat. They get the logins and stuff like that. And I don't go to my foundation about only once a week when the families are there, and like for 2 hours, because I don't want to get in the way of programming. It's not about me putting myself on a pedestal. My wife is out there. Like, my wife goes out there and runs a ropes course, and she just goes, hey, I'm Kelsey. No one knows she's my wife, but they know that Travis and Kelsey come out on Tuesday. So she had to rescue someone on the high ropes course, like she does like the facilitation. And the girl got to the ground. She goes, well, I'm so glad Travis and Kelsey were here to see that. She goes, and then she asked Kelly, my program director, she goes, when they get in here? And Kelly goes, that was Kelsey that, saved you. She goes, oh my gosh, I had no idea it was you. And Kelsey's like, just regular everyday person. Like, we're not on any pedestal. We're just regular everyday people.
That's great, man. Well, that's what I got. Man, brother, I really do appreciate you. And I know Mama Lee had you teed up very well today with your sense of humor, and you did not let anybody down. So thank you, brother.
Except for the timing. I messed the timing up because I couldn't figure out the password.
You fit right in. I told you, we are IT illiterate here. Like, we're learning as we go. We still don't know how to get these videos out of Zoom so that we can share them with you guys, So,
I love
a day at a time, buddy. A day at a time.
There it is.
Hey, but
I have actually a dinner party going on right now. I probably should get to then.
Oh, there you go.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Travis. God bless you. We love you. Keep in touch.
I just met my wife and my kids. We're not allowed to
Oh, that dinner party.
Yeah. Anyway, have a great night.
Got it.
I'm gonna have salad tonight, probably.
Yeah, because you're starting right now. Impressive. That is awesome, Travis. So you took it up a notch. I said to start tomorrow, and you're going to start right now. That is awesome.
I tell people I'm like a T-Rex, short arms, short legs, right? I'm a meatitarian, like a carnivore. And if I fall over, boy, is it hard for me to get up. So Travis Rex. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Have a wonderful day. And I hope you're enjoying yourselves out there in the world, wherever you're at. And good luck with everything. And remember, David Vavora goes by Thorgis.
Thorgis. Got it.
Yeah, that's right. Thor and gorgeous mixed up. Thorgis. He's so pretty.
Got it. Awesome. Well, thank you. Folks, don't forget, Carrie, thank you, oh my gosh, for your generosity of your heart to say, I'll match $500 that's given today for America's Mighty Warriors, and I'll give $500 to the Travis Mills Foundation for people who donate there as well. So if you have not been impacted financially by COVID-19 and you can give, please, that'll double your money if you give today to either one of those foundations. Both of them, she'll match up to $500. So thank you. God bless you for your generosity. Folks, we will see you tomorrow for On Me 20, podcast number 14. God bless.
When fear flashes its teeth like a lion, when evil roars and walls begin to shake, There's a strength that's not my own. There's a fire in my bones. He is with me and his hand is ever on me. Follow on me. We're marching out into the night. Follow on me. We're standing up against a giant. Follow on me. We might be walking in the fire, but if it's where we're meant to be, then on me.